Okay, so we're just going to go over a um, quick automation. Um, I know a lot of people are a part of the Skool community, and one of the things I wanted to do with Skool community is I wanted to start connecting with people from Skool on LinkedIn. I feel like there's a lot of value in the Skool community, and I feel like I want to grow on LinkedIn, and so what I did was built a automation to automatically extract LinkedIn profiles and import them, well, extract LinkedIn profiles, and then I built a table where I can just automatically start adding those folks to a table in which then I can see them on LinkedIn. And so I just want to walk you through this automation real quick. So if for anyone who's part of the Skool community who would like to extract data from the comments and then use that data in the comments to create valuable information. So hopefully this is helpful. All right, so first thing I wanted to do, since I'm looking for LinkedIn, I'm just going to do a quick search for folks on LinkedIn. And here we are. It says, hey everybody, drop your LinkedIn profile. So I know I have one here. I'm just going to copy the link. We're going to go here. All right, so now we can see this link. We see people are dropping their profiles. I just want to make sure I load everything. There was a lot of comments in here. Show more comments. Let's make sure we get all of them. Oh, just clicked on that by accident. That could happen. Let's see, show more. We found, well, this one had a lot of them in there, so we want to load as many as possible. Alright, great. Looks like we got them all. So next thing we want to do, see we have all the comments. I'm just going to grab the comment section. Comment wrapper. And we're going to, let's see, copy element. And what I did was I created let's make this big, have a comments.html. I'm just going to paste it all in there. It's huge. Huge file. Look at that. Massive file. Alright, so now we got this massive HTML file. And that's just one set of comments, right? And so, great. We got a page. And I want to grab another. So this one had 488 in it. Let's see, we have one right here with 354. Let's grab this one too. Copy link. And then we're going to open this link up. And then we're going to do the same thing. Just go to the more. Anytime we see that, see if it can expand it for us. Quite a few in here. Looks like somebody tried to organize it. Right, so it looks like in a lot of Skool communities, People get these names, and someone will write a comment like every few months, and they'll try to organize them. In the comments, they get it organized. But I think what might be useful is just having like an Airtable page with all the names in there, and then maybe a form where if you're a new user and you want to enter your LinkedIn, then you have a place where you can find it. So look, we've uncovered all of them, I think, at this point. And let's go ahead and copy, inspect again, and again we just want to grab all the content, paste that right here at the bottom, and it's going to parse that, and boom, we have another massive file. So right now I think, let's see, this one right here was 2.5 megs. Huge files, and the other one was probably a couple megs too. So we know we got a lot of data in here, and my computer's like chugging to try to figure it out. Then what we're going to do, we have ChatGPT, which kind of gave us a, let's go over view word wrap. So we see this is a big file. ChatGPT kind of gives us a way to kind of make the file a little smaller. I already asked the question, so let's open up ChatGPT. What we want to do is basically say, hey, look, how do we get this file to be smaller? Remove style attributes. So you see I've already asked the question, VS Code shortcut keys, I'm working on HTML document to remove styles, blah, 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 and it gives me the means to do it. Here we are. So here we are. We want to go ahead and remove, click the regex button, and then hit the replace all. Now it's going to go through, boom, get rid of a bunch of stuff. It's working through it. Alright, and we're going to make it a little lighter again. Let's get rid of all of these images that are in here. So there's a bunch of SVGs in here. Let's get rid of all of those. This should make the page much lighter. So it'll be it'll take less time for it to parse. I feel like it could parse it with all the stuff in there, but it's just a matter of waiting extra time. We don't want to wait that extra time for it to parse all that information. Let's see, let's remove images. Running through everything, parsing out images. All right, got all the images. Let's see, there's a div in here that I want to parse. All right, great. So we've parsed out everything. We got a much lighter file than before. Usually I just like to run format document. Boom. Now we got a nicely formatted document with just the stuff we need. Great. Was there another level? Nope. There we go. Got all the levels. All right. And so what we did, we asked ChatGPT. We said, hey, I like what you're doing here, and now I want to take this HTML document and I want to convert it into JSON. Boom. All this stuff was generated by ChatGPT, so I just simply gave it a prompt. We can look up here, go data extraction prompts. This is a long conversation of figuring these things out. Kind of pasted some of the code. This is what I'm looking for. Here's what I need you to give me. It's going to run through some code, tell me what to do, and then it kind of gave me some basic code to work with. And in the end, I got some data extraction from it. So we went through a lot here, and then we started getting some code. Looks like we skipped a few things. But this was one of the things that it gave me. So what this is going to do, let's look at it real quick. We won't have to go into the details of this. I'm going to give all of this stuff away. But what it'll do is it'll grab the comments.html. It will look for specific HTML in the comment section, in the comments HTML. So it looks for a LinkedIn URL. And then once it identifies a LinkedIn URL, make sure there's no duplicates, and then pushes it to an array. And in the end, I have an array of LinkedIn URLs without any duplicates. Because I'm figuring if I copy all this HTML from these pages on Skool with multiple posts, you're going to get some duplicates. And so the easiest way to avoid the duplicates is just right here in your JSON. Say, hey, make sure you're avoiding duplicates. And then I'm going to go ahead and, again, just going to run through it to make sure. So I'm going to highlight the whole thing. I like to use Copilot. All right, looks like everything's good. A set. So it's using a set now. So sets make sure there's no duplicates. You can only have a unique value when you're using sets. But we don't have to get into the technicality of how that works. Again, the script's going to work. The code was smart enough to use sets. So ChatGPT is pretty smart when it comes to writing code. So let's go ahead and run this. So again, we have our comments.html. We pasted the stuff from Skool, and then we're going to just run it. Let's go run LinkedIn. To JSON. Looks like we have an error here. What is our error? We gotta go, can't use import. This is JSON. This is vanilla HTML, and it's not using modules. So therefore we have to use the require. But I could ask ChatGPT to fix it, but since I already know what the fix is, I'm just go ahead and do it myself. All right, let's try it again. Make sure we got the right stuff. Boom, boom, boom. We're just using path and FS. Let's run it again. What did we miss this time? Path. Return binding. No such file or directory. Hold on. What did we miss before? No such file directory comment. Oh, there it is. Alright, let's go with it. I said it doesn't see comments.html. Aha, okay, we see the issue here. So it's looking out. Let's make sure it's looking in. Testing. It is assumed we are in something we are not. Okay, all right, so let's, instead of doing that, let's do this. We're going to use the path resolve. Sorry guys, you're getting this live. We're going to use the directory. Then I should help it find the file, and then look like, let's see, where's it going to write? It's going to write it to the main directory. I don't want it to write it to the main directory. I wanted to write it right here. So it's going to do the path resolve there, and it should write it here. Boom, there we go. Okay, all right, so we have our file. We have the output JSON. It looks like I put it in the wrong spot. Which has all of the URLs in here. So here's all the LinkedIn URLs between the comment sections. What do we have here? So there's 146 unique LinkedIn URLs, which is cool. We can work with that. And so of the 146 unique LinkedIn URLs, let's do this. Let's go ahead and generate a JSON file with the outputs for these. So let's go ahead and run this. All right, so we also created a, again, I'm giving all of this away so we don't have to worry about the technical side of this. But I asked ChatGPT to write a parser function that will log into your LinkedIn, and then it will navigate to all of these profiles and then set up a JSON file with an output. So we can look here at what's happening. Basically, I'm saying, hey, go get the data from all these URLs. I created like this headless browser that's going to go off on the internet to this website, log in as me, then go to all of these URLs, and then it's going to extract the data that I'm asking for and return their profiles. And I'm not asking for a lot, just some simple data. So we can look at what I'm asking for here in my LinkedIn service, where I have it all set up. And I'm asking for a name, headline, country, city, state, follower count, profile pic, banner image. And I think unless I am extracting, unless I'm extracting them and then uploading them to an external tool, I won't actually get the images. So I'll probably have to upload to an S3 bucket first and then return the URL. But for the sake of demoing and showing you how this extraction works and how simple it is, and just seeing the automation, I'm just gonna leave that there and just show you just a free automation for getting LinkedIn. Okay, Larry, let's run this. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and run the index. Great. Now it's going to go through each profile. It's going to go through each, it's going to log me in and then start going through each profile, extracting the data I'm looking for, and then ultimately it's going to come out with a JSON output that we're going to run through make.com. And then once we run that through make.com, we are going to build our table, our air table. You can see here it's going through the profile. So as they're finishing, it's going to go through each profile. So what I'm going to do, I think I'm just going to pause this and then we're going to skip ahead to the end. This is probably going to take a while to get all the JSON data and then show you the final output of the JSON. And then we're going to go ahead over to make. Okay, so looks like our um, JSON is ready. Let's check out our profile.json. Here we are. So we have a profile.json with all of our profile information in it from all the users. Um, and the next thing we want to do is go ahead and work on our make.com automation. Um, if you don't already have one, highly suggest creating an account at make.com for anything you're doing with automation. The two I suggest is usually Make and Zapier. Great services for handling automation. Um, so I already have our scenario set up here. Let's check out, we have it for our demo with the make automation in here. We have one called JSON Airtable demo, and we can see it's taking our JSON, parsing it to Airtable, and then our Airtable. Let's go check that out right quick. I have one already built called AI listing. We have full name, headline, country. So all the things that we're tracking, we can look at here. Here's all the things we're tracking, and here's what our table has in it. So everything's basically in here. What are we missing? Got headline, country, city. Yep. Okay, great. So we got a boilerplate ready, and we're going to give this a go. First thing we want to do in our JSON, once we connect it, let's kind of get rid of all our sample data here. And what we want to do is give it a new data structure. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a data structure. This is called extraction demo. Okay. And then what I want to do is I want to generate that structure. So I'm going to give it one of these items in the array. I'm going to say, hey, here's what you can expect. An array of these guys. And that's our content. And what it's going to do, it's going to generate our structure for us. Boom, look at that. We already have it. And we're going to go with it. Let's go ahead and save that structure. So we have we're using the extraction demo structure. And then I'm just going to grab this whole thing, paste it in here, and say okay. All right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to map that. We can see it's already trying to map. So let's get rid of since I did clone, let's get rid of the map here. Let it know what to expect. And then we're going to select our table. So we know it's going to be going for our sample document. And now we want to map this correctly because we have our stuff in here. So we know the files that we have to work with. Let's parse this JSON. We have a name, we have a headline, country, city, state, follower count, then profile, URL. Again, since we didn't save it to a S3 bucket or an account that would contain an API that would contain the image, it's probably not going to store it correctly, so we're not even going to bother passing it off as an image. There is a way to pass off an Airtable. You would pass off as an attachment, and then it would then store the image if you're passing off as an attachment in the URL. But because we don't have a URL in return, we're just going to pass off the string. Another thing that we can see is we know the expected type that come out of here. So usually if you're getting any errors, it's probably because it's not mapping to the right type. And so we see that's the type it's expecting. So on one end we see the type it's expecting, and on our other end we can see from our specification, we can see the type that we're passing. So we know our name is going to be a text type. So here's where we can see the type that we're passing over, and here's where we can see the expectation. Boom. So all of these match our city, text, city. So we know they're all going to match, right? Shouldn't have any issues, and it should handle all 149 of these users with no problem, and we should see this come out. So let's take one last look, make sure everything's good, and then we're going to say okay. And let's go ahead and run the automation. See what happens. Looks like it's running well so far. No errors. It's just flying through it. And so it should be able to get through all the users without any issues because we didn't have any errors here. Oh, look at that. And let's go check it out. What do we have? We have all the countries in here. For all these users. Some little bundle. It didn't do that great of a job on all cases, but it did try its best. Great. Yeah, some spots a little funky, but it tried. In some cases we got follower counts. That's cool. So we can see follower counts in some of these places. And then we can see their names. We can see the headlines. So we kind of compare, see what's a good headline, what's not. You could do maybe some engagement and say, hey, follower count, country, headline. Kind of have a gauge of what, some users are doing. You see some users are using emojis. So you get a variety of different fixes. So this is a basic level automation that will allow you to, again, take Skool comments, put them into a table, and then not only do you have the comments in the table, I think I probably would have did one extra. Looks like I forgot to add the URL. So the one thing I would probably add back in here is just mapping the URL to each user. So I know which comment, which user goes to which one. But I'll add that into the link that I share with you guys. Ultimately, you'll have the URL and everything else included in here. So again, hopefully this helps and it's useful to you guys and it's valuable. Yeah, if you or someone you know has any automation needs, book a time with me in Calendly. Let's talk about how I can help you and your business grow.